This little lake at Hallett Cove has been closed to the public for quite some time, high fencing all around it, and it's finally been opened this week, so I thought I'd have a bit of a look at it. Later on I'll fly over it, but I actually flew first, but noticed a few features from the air that made me want to have a closer look at it. I hadn't realised, but it had been a bit controversial. I knew that they're cleaning out waterways all over Adelaide to prepare for high volumes of rain coming through with climate change, but I didn't realise that they had a different plan for this little lake. In fact, the plan was to turn it into a wetland with lots of reeds and a series of link ponds. Residents got hold of the plan and were a bit concerned. The controversy was that the lake dried out after a wetland was built upstream. Council said, no, nothing to do with that. There's a crack in the bottom of the lake. I don't know what the outcome was, but they went ahead and redeveloped it. So this is the original plan with a wetland, shy ponds, lots of reeds, which I don't think was terribly popular. And this was option B, which strangely enough is awfully like exactly what the lake was before they did the redevelopment, and that's what they built. So I'm coming up on the first feature that I was quite curious about from the air, because looking down on that concrete, it looked like a sort of a landing or something. In fact, it's a ford, so it means in wet weather, unless it's so wet that it gets totally flooded or swept away, emergency vehicles will be able to come across that, so they'll have access from either end of the reserve, which is a very good idea. So it's looking very bald at the moment. So it's just been reopened. I noticed they've planted reeds around the bed that'll grow up and look nice, and they've put a proper line in it. And looking back up the waterway, you can see they've cleared it out a bit to allow a volume of water to come through. They're putting trash racks. They've done a good job. It took a very long time, so I was quite curious to get a feeling for what they've done. So I was speeding this up just to move it along a bit, about 4 times, which is a wee bit faster than I've walked these days. And that's heading up towards the top of the reserve and then heading back down towards the lake on the path, the new wide path that goes all around the lake. So it's going to be good for easy access. And coming up on the dam wall and the rack that takes you through the reserve, and they built a decent sized track that goes down to the gate into the reserve, which is fantastic because that's the way we used to all walk. All too often planners ignore the way people tend to walk and put something else in. In this case they've gone with the what strikes me as a sensible option. So although it's looking a bit bald and bare at the moment, I like what they've done, and I'm sure it'll look good after more rain in a few summers. Unfortunately, they took out some large willow trees because they've got some obsession with only using native vegetation, but overall the result is good. And here's the spillway that takes the creek, Waterfall Creek, down through the reserve, the conservation park, and out to the sea. So at this point, we'll cut across to the flight action, and you get an idea of what it looks like from above. But this was the last calm day before stormy weather's coming, so I was keen to get out even though it was fairly windy. So I set up in the corner of the reserve up above the lake, the highest point, so I can fly out over the lake. So it's fairly windy, the wind's blowing away from me, down towards the lake, so I was a bit cautious about how far over I went. I probably could have, it was probably a fairly conservative flight. And I think they put a lot of the sediment from the bottom of the lake up there, which is why so much of the ground was disturbed. You can see the build up there.